Hello and welcome to another video here on TOMSTC, and today we're reviewing another Apple CarPlay Android Auto device, and this time it's the AOOCCI C6 PRO. These devices are very good value for money and undercut all the other brands quite heavily. However, there is some quality issues that we talk about in the video, but that doesn't disband from the fact that this is a very good device for that money. If you're looking for this device and you want to save even more money, in fact 22%, use my code TOMSTC when you go to the checkout, or click on the link below to make sure you definitely get those savings. This device comes with front and rear dash cams. It also comes with tire pressure sensor for the front and the rear as well. All these devices work into a very good safety system, which I'll talk about later on. Primarily, what it gives you is crash safety. It gives you safety out on the road and make sure that you're covering your arse all corners. The tire pressure system means it gives you prior warnings that there may be an issue going on and gives you a chance to pull over. So all really good things to add to your bike for a very small amount of money. Anyway, without further ado, let's carry on. I've got unboxing, installing, and a full ride review with this thing. So it's quite a long video, I'm afraid. So make sure you get your nice favourite biscuit and your nice brew whilst you're watching.
TOMSTC.
So here it is, the AOOCCI, or AOOCCI, however you want to pronounce that, C6 series. This is the Pro version. Without further ado, let's get it out of the box and take a good look at it. So just to mention as well, you actually get two separate packages. This is all the bracketry, and we'll look at that in a second after we've unboxed it. So this is the screen, a little bit of a pop. So it's come in like a nice sort of sleeve as well, plastic sleeve, and this is the unit itself. You've got the 3 mounting points for the sunscreen that goes across the top. You have the cables at the back that are labelled front, rear, power, and the controller. It's a wired controller on this unit. We also have the connection to power. Now this is a waterproof power box, which is supposed to be a smart unit, so it detects when the power is disconnected from the battery or when the ignition's turned off. Some more bracketry and some cable ties. These are for the cameras, and these look like spacers for handlebar mounting, etc. We have the front camera. We have a USB power connector. So if your bike is already equipped with USB, you can connect it straight into the USB as well, so it's quite handy. An extension cable for the cameras, again another extension cable. Tire pressure sensors, another camera. Actually, both of these cameras are exactly the same, so not front and rear, so that's my mistake. And of course we also have the remote control. That's quite a bulky remote control actually, and a little bit plasticky, but otherwise probably does the job. And then of course we have the sunshade as well. And what a really nice touch actually, and this is a proper touch. You get a 64 gig memory card for the unit as well, which is really good, and that's for recording your videos onto it. A very, very small set of instructions on how to connect the unit to your battery. So I thought before we get it on the bike, what we'll actually do is power the unit up here on the bench and get it connected to my phone. So with the device up on the bench, you can actually power them up without first connecting to the bike. So what this means is you can actually get it all ready to go before you actually mount on the bike, and it's much easier to do that rather than keep disconnecting it all the time and fiddling around with all the connections. So let's do this. We've got to fit the memory card. So underneath the device you've got these two very gnarly little screws here. Do not lose those, they are tiny. It would have been better if it was some sort of clip rather than screws, but here we are. And then you have the area for your memory card and the area for your power. So under this little flap here, if you can get to it, it's very fiddly. You have the slot for the memory card, and the memory card goes in facing up.
like so. It should just click in like that. Then you can take any USB power to the bottom of this and power it up. And it's just USB-C. Plug that in like so, and the device will power up like so. And it already says it's recording. I don't know what it's recording because there's nothing to record. So on the device, just to have a quick look round, you've got your home button, which will always take you back to here. You've got your front and back tire pressure manager. This is to do with recording. Obviously it's not going to work yet. You can actually connect the cameras at this stage if you want to check as well. You've got settings for brightness, volume, Bluetooth connection, and all the other settings. We can change it to kilometers. We want it in miles per hour. Language, obviously we want it in English. Phone audio, Wi-Fi switch, blah, 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 etc., etc. So while it's on the bench, what we'll do is we'll try and get this connected to Android Auto. So to get to connect to the Android Auto, it's actually really straightforward. Just go to your phone. This is on an Android. This is a Samsung S24 Ultra. Generally, it's the same across all of the Android devices. Make sure before you go for this that your phone actually supports wireless Android Auto, or it won't work. We go into settings, you go into your Bluetooth connectivity, and you search for, so if you look at your device under settings, you can actually see it's an MT91D. So that's actually what you're looking for on your device, on your phone. So it's the MT91D D96D1C. Yeah, I know my front tyres are not connected. So there we go, we connect with that. Allow pairing. That is now paired. See, it's already looking for Android Auto because it knows it's an Android Auto device. So once it comes up and it recognises it, change to Android Auto mode, confirm. Continue on your vehicle screen. So if we click on home, it will automatically come up. So now this is your Android Auto area. Okay, so this is essentially where you do your GPS, your navigation, you do it all from your phone. Your phone is a dumb connection to the device. So with Android Auto, it's almost exactly the same as Apple CarPlay. The layout is slightly different, but you have access to all your apps and everything else. So you've got YouTube Music, blah, 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 everything. And then when you want to come out of Android Auto, you just hit the button down here and hit exit. And that will take you back to the device here. So if you want to go back into Android Auto, hit the interconnect button and you're back in. That's your driving recorder. That's just the cameras, and then the front and rear tyre PSI. Okay, so that's basically the device powered on, ready to go. So now we've done all of that, we can connect it up on the bike. You can obviously check the cameras as well while you're here, but we won't do that today. We'll move it straight onto the bike and get the cameras set up nice and easy. So these obviously the handlebars on the V-STROM, and I'm thinking I'm going to mount the control there. There's no really where else for it to go. And I'm going to mount the unit itself over here. Okay, so with the bracket, you have like this rubber double-sided tape thing, I believe goes in here like that to stop it slipping on your handlebars. I was a bit disappointed about that because I don't feel like that's a really a good enough thing to protect your handlebars against this, but we'll do it anyway and see how it goes. So I've moved the camera around to give you a better view of me fitting this. In the other bracket part, you have to put these two nuts in here which have thread lock in them, and then you have to mount these two bolts onto the other side. It's a bit fiddly because you've got then, so let's try and do this one at a time, I guess. Hope for the best. I'm not going to drop it everywhere. I'll just try and get that finger tight in there first of all. So I've got one part in. Now I don't want to block my speedo too much, and I don't want it sticking out in my face. I wish this was a little bit shorter, or I wish there was another option to mount this. Alternatively, I could mount it to my navigation bar as well. I do already have a device there. I don't want to take it off at this stage, but also it would stick really far out from that as well. So that's why we're going to try and mount it on handlebars for now. I'm really worried it's going to scratch my bars, but we'll see. God, these are so fiddly, man. Okay, I hope there's enough light here. So what I've actually decided to do was mount the unit on the navigation bar anyway. It's a bit of a pig because you've got to thread lock nuts in with these. It's just a bit of a fiddle, especially with the screen in the way. Probably remove the screen, make things a bit easier. But that's the mount in place now. So once you've done that, you need to remove the bracket off of the other ball joint. Mount that on like so. We'll just do it a little bit tight. And then we can offer up the actual unit itself to the ball joint. Now, because they've got these security screws on, it's actually a bit fiddly because you've got to unloosen it again and tighten it back up. There is quite a lot of guesswork because there's no real instructions. And it is quite fiddly to get these torque security screws in and out. So I'm thinking I'm just going to mount it like this for now, just while we're testing. I don't like this Allen key style tool to do this either. It'd be nice to have a screwdriver that you can get your hands on. I did actually use my own Torx, but it didn't work particularly well. It's almost like it's made just for this unit. It's a funny size. So maybe there is a little bit of thinking there about the security on this. Okay, so that's kind of in place. It's okay. Make sure it's not rubbing on that other screen. But I think that's in a good enough position to test. See, it sticks out too far. I would like it if it was closer mounted, and obviously you wouldn't even be able to do that. Even if I didn't have a screen there, it would still stick out a long way, but it's okay. And there are plenty of people making brackets for these to actually mount flush, which is nice as well. Okay, that's nice and straight, I believe. Need to tighten that bracket underneath again. And we'll move back to that in a second, but that looks okay at this stage. I'm also just mounting the sunscreen. Be careful because in the pack there are 3 really tiny screws that you can't actually see with the human eye, so do not lose those. Okay, so I've connected the rear camera and I've taken the paneling off here and I've run the cable all the way down through here. You need to use your extension cables to get the camera connected. Run it all the way through, down here, and connected it up
right there. So we'll get that connected and see how that looks. But there's a little white dot on it, it's quite handy. One thing I did find really fiddly was you have to basically create, let's get that focus, sorry. You have to make the bracket up, which is a bit fiddly, a bit daft, but oh well, it is what it is. So that's mounted now, and it's pretty secure with the double-sided tape that they give you. I've also decided to use the USB connection to connect to the power, just to make it easier really to disconnect it if I need to. But you can connect it to the battery as well using the connections that they have. And when you connect it to the battery, obviously it means that potentially there's a risk that the device won't disconnect when you've got the battery, when you turn the ignition off. So we'll see how that goes with the USB anyway. So I fitted the front camera as well here, using the double-sided tape after giving the area a bit of a clean with some degreaser, and it seems okay. So that's that one all nice and fitted. And then it's connected here as well. We've got to do a bit of cable management, but I'll do that in a sec. So we just got to connect up the controller and then try and find somewhere for these cables to go. I've fitted the remote buttons. Now, this, I have to be honest with you, is quite a bad design. I'm not happy with this. I couldn't get it on my handlebars. I couldn't get it here. It doesn't fit in front of the reservoir. And as you can see on the V-STROM, same on both sides. And it looks really bulky as well. It would have been better off if it's just mounted off a little bracket off of one of the bolts here. But it is what it is. I've managed to get the cable down here. And I've also got the cables running up behind the screen there. So it doesn't look too bad. But it's quite cheap and nasty, this. It's not the best, but you get what you pay for. This is a good value unit so far, I think, as far as build quality goes. But as you can see, it's mounted up quite high on the bike here. I would have liked it a bit lower. Obviously, I've already got a screen there, which is mounted quite permanently. It's okay. It'll give us an idea and a feel for it anyway. All we need to do now is mount the tyre pressure sensors. So there's two. You've got the front, which is labelled up F, and rear R. So all you have to do now is you pop these on the bike, and then we turn the AOOCCI on, and then you can screw these onto your valves, and then it'll automatically pair them. So to bind the tyre pressure sensors, press the settings, go down to pressure, bind off, confirm, and then you screw in the front tyre pressure sensor. And you can see that's reading that, and then you put on the rear tyre pressure sensor. And there we have it. So 34 on the front and 41 on the rear, with apparently 25 degrees on the rear and 14 degrees on the front. And then if we go into the cameras, drive and recorder, so that's the rear camera and that's the front camera. So we'll get those adjusted, and should be quite a good view. Right, so here we are out on the bike with the AOOCCI or AOOCCI or whatever you want to call it. So I thought it might be quite nice to see what it looks like in the wild with the bike connected. Now, you can see here this bracket just sticks out way too far. Maybe you would be able to move that back a little bit, but overall it's just a bit too chunky for my liking. And we also have the remote control here, which I'm not too keen on. It's connected to the rear mirror stalk, and it just looks a bit tacky, if I'm honest, but it provides a purpose. And for this particular video, it's fitted to the bike. You don't necessarily need it, and I think it's too far away really, but we'll see how we get on with it. So if we take a ride out on the bike now and just see what this is all about. It's a really nice view. It's a great big screen. It's right in my view, which is perfect. It doesn't block my view from the road or anything like that, so that's fine. Let's get it on and start it up.
So you get the AOOCCI logo. You can actually change that, and I may actually do a video showing you how to change that if the interest is there. So let me know in the comments if it's something that you want to see. So this is your screen here. You've got the driving recorder, which is like the dash cams. Interconnect is the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and down here you've got your recording videos as well. So this actually shows you your previous recordings. Got your tyre pressure gauge here. It's a little bit clunky, but it's there. And then of course you've got your Android Auto. So once that loads up, it shows you a very basic screen of your apps, which is exactly all you need. So you've got, at the moment, we've got the Google Maps. It's giving you a couple of bits of history and also YouTube Music. You can actually control that with voice commands as well, but haven't trained it yet, so it's not particularly brilliant. But other than that, you've got pretty good control of everything that you need. Now the way this works is it's a dumb connection to your phone, so your phone does all the work. This is just a screen that connects to it wirelessly. So there's no actual native GPS apps. It's all controlled through your phone. So the app that you use on your phone is what shows here, and it works pretty well. Now it's not going to show you much more, but you get your front and rear camera. We'll just show you those as well. You have to exit out of this app to get to those. There's actually that button there. So if you go here and press this button here, that gives you a shortcut to your cameras. So there's your cameras, and to change the camera you swipe to the left. So that's now showing me left, both front and rear, and the other way around, and that's the front. They're pretty good cameras. What I'll do on this ride back, I'll show you those, I'll take some shots from those cameras and you can see for yourself what they're like. When you press the home key, away it goes. If you press the home key on the remote, it brings you back to Android Auto, and if you press the camera button at the bottom, obviously it takes you back to the cameras. Like I said, you don't have to actually use this. You can just use your finger to scroll through, press the home button. I just think it's a little bit, I think the reason they give you a remote is just so that you a little bit less taking your hands off of the handlebars. So what we're going to do, we're going to see what it's like riding home. My back tyre is apparently high, but it's not. Ignore that. But that's another good aspect. We'll talk about that in a minute. Absolutely glorious day as well. Beautiful day, just coming through Vivery Park. Thought it'd be a nice place to start, a bit different. Everyone's out in the park. Anyway, so on the bike, it works really well. I think it's a good alternative to a dedicated sat-nav because it does so much more than just the sat-nav. Obviously you've got the added security that your ride is being recorded at all times, and the way that it records is it actually records 5 minutes. You can change that as well to 1 minute. Or more. Thank you. And what that enables it to do is just overwrite every 5 minutes, and if the bike detects, or if the system detects that you may have had an accident from a sudden jolt, it will actually lock that file so it won't get overwritten. You can change the levels of tyre pressure as well, so it doesn't keep giving that alert. But the good thing is, like, if you imagine that situation where your tyre pressures get really low and you're on the motorway and you don't notice until the last minute, at least with this system or something like this, any tyre pressure monitor that isn't already fitted to your bike, you're going to get a warning, and that's enabling you time to pull over and sort it out, or, you know, that kind of thing. I think also with these Android Auto devices, this one is super duper value as well. So you're going to get a great big saving if you use my code TOMSTC on checkout, or if you click on the link below, it automatically applies it. what that gives you is about 22% saving, and you're getting a device with the cameras front and rear at the moment for around 130 to 140 pounds. That ain't bad really when you think about what you get. It might not be the most quality system, I suggest, but it does exactly what it says on the tin. I'm not sure about that remote though. That I've got my reservations on that. It's clunky. It does exactly what it says on the tin, and you get that important state of mind where, I mean, imagine, so one of the things that people ask, they say to me, oh, why do you need that? You just put your phone on your handlebars. Yeah, you could. Essentially, that's the same thing. However, you don't get the cameras front and rear, you don't get the crash detection, you don't get the security that you're having your ride recorded. And the other thing is imagine if you crashed your bike and your phone was stuck to your bike. Your bike goes 200 yards away from you, you've broken both your legs, you can't get access, you're in the middle of nowhere. What are you going to do? But if your phone is on you, if your phone is in your pocket, there's a chance you can get to your phone and you can make that important call that saves your life. If your bike's 200 yards down the road, you're screwed. So I think that's an important aspect of why these systems work really well. Yeah, you know, you've got that and more. You've got the tyre pressure, the camera. I'm just repeating myself now, but you know what I mean. But you can make calls on this if you need to. You can receive calls easily. Essentially what happens is that your phone connects to your helmet, comms, and then your phone also connects to that device there. So that is the go-between part of this system. That's how I have it set up anyway. Some people wouldn't have it set up that way. But look, I mean, I'm getting a nice, great big, the sun is glaring down, I can still see that screen perfectly well, it's perfectly legible, no issues there. And as I'm talking, I'll put some shots up of the cameras front and rear so you can get an idea of the quality of those. They're not going to be like your awesome action cameras, hello. They're not going to be like that. The quality isn't great, you know. There's definitely an issue with reading number plates sometimes, but it gives you an idea. It gives you an idea, like if you had an accident and someone was saying it was all your fault, if it was recorded, you'd have that argument on your side. So it just makes sense in that aspect. I can easily just swap over to the camera if I wish. You can use it as a rear view camera almost, if you want to, if I press the right button. So there we go, we've got a rear view camera. I can see there's a chap behind me. I haven't got to keep looking in my mirrors. And that's recording that, and the speed is fairly accurate actually. It's the wrong time, but we'll ignore that. That's my fault for not setting that properly. The speed is a little bit slow to update, but that's in real time, so I'd imagine on the recording you'd see that speed much better, much more up to date. You've also got your direction you're pointing in, what the time is, blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's a good little system. I think that if you're looking for a system like this, you're on a bit of a budget, 130, 140 pounds, it's good. It's good for that money. And there's also plenty of people that have 3D printed brackets on them, for them on eBay and stuff like that. So cameras are a bit of a one catcher. I should have adjusted that a bit better, but you can see the guy behind me quite clearly. It's a nice wide angle, it's all good. But I think that's a nice little quick test of this device. It works really well. I'm more than happy with that. I'm happy to recommend to you guys, my viewers, this product. And remember, TOMSTC, or click the link in the bottom in the description, and you'll be sorted with a nice, great value Android Auto for your motorcycle. And on that note, we'll head back to the garage and summarise.
If you've come this far in the video, that's amazing. Thanks so much for watching. This device is a great device to any motorcycle, not just my V-STROM. You could strap this to your Classic. You can strap it to anything you want, really. The device works really well, and it brings any bike kicking and screaming into the 21st century. So overall, really good. I just want to go over a couple of things as to why I think this is a good device, apart from the fact that it mirrors your phone and all the apps and everything else. It's a safety feature. The front and rear cameras mean that if you have an accident, you've got that recording, you've got that proof of the accident on there, ready to go, whether or not it's your fault. The crash system will also record that crash as well, so it will lock it in place, so that evidence is there, it can't be overwritten. The other thing that is really important about this, and I believe this is quite a good one actually, all Android devices, well, all of the Android devices that I have reviewed, or Android Auto devices that I have reviewed, all, you know, this comes under that bracket regardless. If your phone is strapped to your handlebars and you crash your motorcycle, your phone is down the road. If you've broken something and you can't move, or you're in a ditch somewhere, you can't tell people. If the phone is in your pocket or on you as a person, you have more chance of getting to that phone to ring the emergency services, let them know, next of kin, whoever. You can't do that if your phone is with your bike and probably smashed up as well. So that's another real important part of this. The other thing is tyre pressure sensors, and this is something I originally overlooked, but I think this works really well. If your tyre is going down quickly and you're not aware, and you're on the motorway doing 70 miles an hour, if that tyre goes down too quickly and doesn't give you a chance to pull over, then you're heading for an accident. If you've got a big warning on your dashboard telling you that the tyre pressures are low, it's a great safety feature because it gives you a chance to pull over before any accident happens. And I think that's, you know, something that I haven't even thought about before. But yeah, that's a really good feature. Don't forget, TOMSTC code gives you 22% off. Click the links below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time on TOMSTC. Give me a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you think, and subscribe. I really appreciate the subscribes, and I'll see you next time.